It's none other than Bugha and Aviv. These players have proven themselves time and time again. However, this weekend it'll have to be on the global stage. That's right, you talk about accolades. You know we can't not mention Bugha and Aviv, a very well-decorated player, but there's just one title he's missing.
I mean, he is the world champ, but is he the global champ? I guess technically not. But what he is one of the longest standing top competitors that we have ever seen. Not only winning World Cup all the way back in 2019, but going the back-to-back FNCS champs between chapters 2 and 3.
I mean, the word I love to use to describe Bugha is longevity. He's done it for so long. He's been at the top of his game for so long. He's won it all. Solos, duos, trios, he has done it. But as you mentioned, Z, yet to win a global championship. And I think this is going to be a really good chance for them to do so. Landing at Doom's courtyard, so much loot there as well. Even a little bit of an opportunity for them to rotate out of that courtyard area to get a little bit of those Storm Surge tags towards the castle. So interested to see what they can do this weekend.
Yeah, Bugha, I mean, dude, you know, when we think about Fortnite, if you're someone who's like never heard of Fortnite at all, but someone says Bugha, you're like, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, you know
yeah,
who
I know Bugha is, right? I want to see this guy win a global championship title, to just have like every single title imaginable. Like, it just would cement him forever, right? He's already regarded as like this incredible player, and when you have as many like accolades as him, like people would just, they would trade it all to even have like even half of those accolades.
And just how, you know, just how strictly people look at Bugha, where if he's not getting first, then he's getting last. I don't understand how the community could ever say like, oh, Bugha's washed, oh, he didn't win global championship.
I don't get it.
But then he gets the back-to-back wins between chapters 3 and 4, and then of course going for 3rd place in Major 1 is 7th place in Majors 3, and they did split up in Major 2, but obviously they felt some kind of synergy. They understood that this was the duo to make their ticket into the global championships.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out when they split duos. They of course came back together, and that's really, really difficult to do. When you're a team that has had a little bit of success before, split up, come back together, what are the vibes going to be like there, right? It's like, hang on a sec, you just dropped me, and now you're coming back to ask if we can play. So it's nice to see them still performing well. I genuinely think this is a really, really good chance of them getting a top 5, maybe even the win, depending on how the weekend goes, because their situations seem to just work out really nicely for them. I mentioned it earlier, they can go towards that east side, towards that castle. Lots of different teams, even to the north of the castle as well, that are going to be landing there. So interesting to see how they can sort of manage those early Storm Surge damage. And even if they do get a little bit of their loot stolen from that gas station to the south of their drop, I still don't think they're going to be in trouble. I still think this is a team that can pull it out of the bag. Much like Acorn and Cole, when it comes to the end game, they're still going to be looking stacked because they can find those eliminations.
Yeah, I mean, Bugha, an incredible IGL, and then Aviv grabbing all of those eliminations as well. And the loot, like you were talking about, the loot that they walk out of that POI is absolutely ridiculous.
A battle for the ages indeed here. 5 eliminations still for Teeny and Chap. Things are starting to rack up. Teeny, the first to go down. Chap's also weak. They jump in. They close the game. And game number 1, the Victory Royale will go to Chap and Teeny. It's the one and only coming out the storm, Bugha there, who just went with a desperate play. Meanwhile, Trulex down low. If he starts to focus in here, he falls so fast. And Bugha has high ground now. This is a little scary, but the tag is so good for Queasy.
And the incredible part about it still, MDF, Queasy already had the record for most Victory Royales in FNCS Finals, but he extends that from 25 to now 26 with this last Victory Royale.
Here, the shield bubble, the saving grace, but also the flare to the lobby. Hey, I'm over here.
There's only so much that Thomas can do from this current position. And first, he's got to break through Yapko and Swizzy, throws out the shield bubble. It's his last hope at this point, hoping that there isn't a duo underneath him, but unfortunately, he won't even get a chance to reconsider where he wants to go next. Peterot and Foyo more than content to take the shutdown.
And they're the team up top, looking down on the rest of the lobby here. Other NA players still here, Reet and Ritual. But you have EU's Huddy on the front side with Kovacs there. Peterbot looking down, putting tags onto the roofs of these builds. Huddy and Kovacs have 7 eliminations, but very little material now. It's going to get super scrappy down here. A great tag onto Merstav to go in and set things up, but he steps in now. It's time to throw it all down. It's all or nothing right here peek here for Merstash is going to work well. Peter Von Polio jumps down from the high ground to go ahead and get in the mix. One of those goes to them. Merstash is down. Malabuka's down. 2v2. All they got to do now is find the last shot, and Polio, hungrier than ever, is going to get one. They just need the second now.
Peter Von Polio, they're tracking him down. Swizzy staring just a layer above. Polio's gonna fall though. This could be massive. Swizzy could actually take it, but Peterbot trying to shut that dream down. Peterbot, oh my God, is all he needs. Swizzy takes it home.
Peterbot and Polio get taken down to the hands of Swizzy. HD is almost figuratively and literally putting Queasy on his back this game right now, and Queasy gave him the credit last round, and rightfully so. We're seeing him really work for it. Acorn falls now. Bugha, Aviv still alive here. We couldn't have found a better time to talk about them because they have managed to rat their way through the castle here, and now finding Max to stay alive and get back. Meanwhile, Flixie and Vico jumping their way back up into this top 5.
Flexi and Vico from the rooftops now by Castle Doom. Bugha and Aviv functioning out of the attics exclusively, but Thomas has lost Queasy yet again, only this time no opportunity for the revive. In fact, he's down and out for the count as well. Scroll doing everything he can to just try and make it back into zone, but it's all up to Vico and Flixie to hold their ground. They're gonna cut Scroll off in the process. Vico nearly gets credit for the knock, but instead we'll have to watch that one slip away.
Vico finds that extra elimination, though. They are slowly cutting down the poles here, getting closer and closer to the roots. Give a look at it. 7 elims for Flixie and Vico. Bugha and Aviv not looking to jump up into the flames that are Vico and Flixie. Give it a second, though. No match. They have to continue to farm here. And like we talked about, this building, very, very interesting to try to navigate through. Armored wall comes in. At the very least, Bugha's trying to, make this a war of attrition, and they find an elimination. Another big one here. More points here. Vico and Flixie are coming down. They had enough of the weight. They find Aviv on the backside there. Vico losing a lot of HP to the storm, though.
Vico nearly getting trapped in the process there, but unfortunately for Aviv and Bugha, they're gonna get caught inside the structures. They're trying to work their way through. Aviv nearly has it, but Vico and Flixie just a little bit more.
Position here of the bunker, they back off. Bugha and Aviv, we get the early update with them for the first time to really see what is unfolding for Bugha. No shotgun. Oh wait, yeah, he does. Got a little loadout going on here. Aviv as well on the move right now.
It's a nice rotation so far off the launch pad from the peak of that mountain, but the main difference that I've noticed in Bugha and Aviv's game in comparison to what we saw, for example, coming from NA Major 3, typically they like to be aggressive towards the team that is landing on Piney Lane, but that has not been an option for them this game, because Toyota and Mifali, they're just not willing to take that exchange. They're bailing, they're getting their loot and immediately looking to rotate out. So it's not really leaving Bugha and Aviv anyone left nearby. They're having to forcibly create these storm surge situations, and it's not easy to acquire those tags by any means. You miss one shot, that could be the difference between above or below that damage threshold. Into maintaining 2 separate surge bases even. Meanwhile, Aviv, Bugha tangled up a little bit here right now with Swizzy, but we've seen Swizzy perform already once today, MTF. 1 versus 2, and this time he still got his duo with them, but most importantly still, Aviv, Bugha, they're trying to do what they can to break through some of these builds, but they're just gonna find themselves cut off. They're not able to actually cross the gap just yet because Bugha also needed ample opportunity to make sure that he could regenerate his shields off of what heals they have left, but that's gonna be more than enough room for Yapko and Swizzy to just full on disengage.
Bugha and Aviv don't chase either, they just let them go, so it's telling. It shows us that they want another one of those end games. They need another one of those end games, and they can't toss it away. It's a chance for them to go ahead and do just that, but they do need more damage, but talk about that. It seems like Swizzy rotates right into Bryce and Bolt, so not too much longer do they fall, but
Mix, couple of knocks, couple of eliminations. Couldn't have come at a more perfect time.
look at this though, the setup from Aviv and Bugha after rotating. They find Swizzy again, so Swizzy was knocked, picked up, and then ultimately falls back to the hands of Aviv here. You can see, yes, 2 eliminations, so starting to really heat up now. Bugha and Aviv come the late half of the tournament. Wait a second, though. Storm Surge is active now. Damage is starting to add up here. Even with that elimination there, they will need a single tag. These are the chances, and when you miss them, it does end up catching up to you. Down goes Bugha to the Surge. The next tag will take down Aviv, and they know it's over. Chance to heal, you have to fight back. Armored walls come out. They have a little bit more map, but Peterbot has too much to work with. Another armored wall. Bolts has an angle. Can he get it? No! Peterbot won't drop it twice.
Peterbot and Pollo strike yet again on the day. A little box fight of their own up against the likes of Analex and Sato.
And that really shows you the significant difference of having a strong early game start versus a slow one. When the surge turns on, it is.
Let's take a look at these standings one last time before we start to wrap up the day.
We have to talk about other duos.
I know we have to talk about other duos.
Yeah.
Just pretend Peterbot and Pollo don't exist for a moment.
It's none other than Bugha and Aviv. 2 out of their 6 performances were stellar. And if they can find that groove again, we can definitely see them up at the top.
I mean, the moment we talk about Bugha in any capacity, crowd goes absolutely crazy. Shout outs to him paired up with Aviv. And of course, shout outs to JP, very special guest there who got to walk out with them. Currently sitting in 24th place. But if Bugha's taught me anything, it's you can't count Bugha out. He can make anything happen. And now we just said, Bugha, I don't know, what about a 1.5 times multiplier? Can you work with that?
I think Bugha and Aviv can work with that for sure, right? I mean, like you mentioned, it's really, really hard to count Bugha out. Honestly, he has survived in Fortnite competitive for so long because of how smart he is, because of how much experience he has. Well, now I gotta say, Levin, it's time to put that experience, that knowledge to test. Day 2, can the comeback happen?
Yeah, and there's so many people here that love him and are rooting for him, and he's got to do it for them.
That's right. Do it for the people. That's what we want to see.
Match number 7 is here. Day 2 of the Global Championship has arrived.
Bugha, Aviv, another one of our teams. Big fan favorites here, of course, but also just knowing that they need to try and develop some form of a new strategy. Even bumped into Aviv in the elevator earlier on today here at MDF and asked him, hey, we're looking at the comeback, and he's like, well, I hope so. And it could start here. They've already got 1 elimination onto Dignitas. It's just Tinka trying to keep his duo's hopes alive, but Bugha and Aviv, they struggled a decent bit with their surge damage, so this could be a big opportunity if they're able to pinpoint where Tinka is at. And they don't look like they want to let him go.
I'm looking at the map, though. There's a team moving in very fast here from the south now, so other opinions are going to be thrown into the conversation here. It's Asia's Job and Michael who have now started sliding their way towards the Doom's Courtyard. So anything really can happen. It'd be wise for Bugha and Aviv to possibly make a move now, but of course, it's day 2. Strategies are being put to the test.
But Job and Michael need to be careful with the way that they're crouch walking around that rooftop. Doom's Courtyard sitting at a slightly lower elevation than some of the POIs surrounding it. And there's a high possibility a team in a surge base happens to be looking around, see some freebie opened up shots. Players not protected from behind because they're too fixated on trying to get this surprise opportunity onto Aviv and Bugha. But hard ground scope, Queasy, Thomas HD. They could tell Phaser for a moment. He got a glimpse, but he won't actually get a taste of what the high ground is like. Queasy now gonna be the first to drop. He's continuing, he knows he needs a refresh, he wants more material. If he can find an elimination, if he can play the disturbance factor, he can prevent anyone from having the potential to threaten Thomas HD's current position. Thomas HD, in fact, alongside Queasy, just gonna continue to try and secure as many eliminations as possible.
We are witnessing greatness right now as Thomas HD and Queasy are putting on a masterclass from the high ground here. Doing a very good job now securing eliminations, starting to rack up. Queasy will have to get those mats there, has to jump jump to the tree. He sends Thomas HP down. The Soren to start cutting off the teams here. Completely new duos in the conversation as well. It's Zagu and King and Phaser now. That's all that's left in a clean 2v2 here.
But the zone pull, Thomas HD and Queasy, they made it to the top of the hill. Phaser is gonna manage to find his way up. Thomas HD instantly puts him down. Queasy with the cleanup as well, and a victory royale finish.
We expect it, and now they're performing. Game number 8 is here. A little bit cautious though as he want to get to his teammate here. Who's on this ramp? There he is. Here comes the heals. They see a player below them, but they can't even afford to stick around. Unfortunately, Flixie misses the jump there. He'll just have to be caught up. Pico takes the build, breaks the ball through the zip line there, and now he is crushing his way through. Meanwhile, Bryce coming up behind him. Kovacs lands a shot on him. It's not safe at all here inside the top 15.
The zipline trick is not going to work out twice here as Bryce hoping that he can have an opportunity to utilize some of the last bits of that Flowberry Fizz, but again, Cammy, Zeddy, full control of the high ground.
Nice counter fire now coming up to the high ground. Jonas is exceptionally well in these situations, but it's not looking good. Cammy and Zeddy are just chopping away now.
Zeddy even opting for the drop down, but it might not even be necessary. The Polish Pantheon looking to try and take over here. Pixie, Giannis scrambling around the low ground, but Pixie falls. Only one remains. Zeddy's gonna look to find it.
Nice.
Zeddy takes it with the victory royale.
As far as into the storm to get that bunker, but now seeing where they are
Match
on
9 might have in store.
Take a look what's happened here. Aviv already has an elimination. And Bugha is right behind him right now. Remember, they land just a little further north, so sliding in, cleaning up house. Seems like Job and Michael were also here, part of this fight. Chicho and Trulex on the move right now, trying to get into the zone here. Being held out now by Bugha and Aviv. They're gonna Flowberry Fizz and get a move here shortly. Take a look at the highlight. Aviv comes in, finds Shadow, cleaning up what's left of Virgo. And then T1 Michael takes the punishing shot there before pumping the brakes and backing off. Bugha and Aviv seem to be on a faster track here today as well. Let's see what's going on here. So from one fight to a potential other, they're just getting situated. Seems like they found their home for now.
Slight gift as well. An extra bottle of Flowberry Fizz now to work with. Aviv and Bugha just want to make sure that they establish as much of a foundation as possible.
Bugha and Aviv on the other side find their way to the new zone. The half in, half out already revealed. They're below the surge though. They will have to find a duo or land on someone shortly, and from their sights, there isn't anyone nearby. There it is. Finally, they see a fresh build. It's going to be Teeny, and it's a single box, so the confidence is surging here, but Bugha damage first. No extra heals. This is all around disastrous, right, for Bugha and Aviv right now. And it's only a matter of moments. They will have to do something shortly. Meanwhile, Huddy already out. Kovacs below the surge as well. Will fall here shortly if he can't find a tag now. Yeah, if you were hoping to get lucky with Peterbot and Boyo, that already happened, right? Like 2 games, unprecedented. Doesn't happen often for them not to be in the end game. So this is everyone's chance now. The playing field has been even. Nicely done by Aviv here. Not only did he actually pick up and save Bugha, but he manages to find damage to keep them in the game and enough damage on the duo to have them to stop peeking so they can rotate, but it is not looking good for Aviva and Bugha. I don't know what more we can expect of them, but there are a lot of duos there. Toyota and Mapoli, the strongest Asian duo from day number 1. They finished in 10th, so they came in today with a lot to live up to, but have fallen a bit short now up against the likes of Aviv and Bugha here. What can Ping and Walks do?
There's ever a time to prove himself, it's now for Aviv, but he has so little HP to work with. But he has plenty of targets surrounding him. Bugha, though, just too low for the count. Sato's gonna find him. Aviv trying to go massive now to Reap. A little bit of spoiler, getting some tags and cracking those shields.
3 players now here. Peterbot looking at a 1v1v1 and another one. Down goes Bars. Can he find the final right here, Dukes is excellent in these type of scenarios, but Peterbot is just a little better. Up top, the high ground hit is good, and he needs to go. And he does it again. Haven't seen much of the early game from Dukes or Sphinx, but they are creeping their way up the standings. Just a silent team at the moment. On the other side, Bugha and Aviv looking to make some noise here at the Reckless Railways. I was just gonna say, but you gotta be careful, because here comes Flixie and Vico coming back to home territory. First tag's gonna come out onto Aviv by Flixie from the low ground. A great peek, and Aviv's gonna respect the damage coming in from Vico now and back off.
But both of these teams need to be wary of the fact that they don't want to get caught outside of the zone for a little bit too long. Teams inside of the zone already managing to build up more primary positioning, and when you're trying to break through some of these surge bases that are in more of that central map position, it can be very difficult to work around and still retain as many resources. All of these splashes, a little bit of Flowberry Fizz that Vico has left over, it seems right now he can definitely buy himself more time than what Bugha and Aviv had to offer, but because of that factor, Bugha, Aviv, they're not really interested in the fight.
Aviv and Bugha on the move now. No one in sight here as they get a nice clean rotate down the river's edge here. This is match number 10. The back half of the tournament is very much underway here. Aviv and Bugha have a long way to go if they want to break into that top 10, but they are knocking on the door now. As several eliminations and a good placed game here will put them inside the conversation. And this is after having such a struggle day one, right? Completely, almost unheard of for Bugha and Aviv, but this day two performance is one to be impressed with.
You're in sight. He's gonna fall back immediately, and now Poyo,
In the high ground, listening to what's happening down low. The medallion's in full effect, so they have all the information needed, and they're cutting them off. What an angle from Bryce here to find one, now two on the low ground. Down comes Sphinx and Dukes. The call has been made. They're looking to close this game out, and they're a very weakened duo down here.
Dukes feeling good about this one, though. He knows that these players have got to be low. Final 3 builds remain. Sphinx right up above to back him up, but it's only gonna take one last shot. Dukes waiting to see which hole Bolts tries to scramble out from under. Armored walls to surround himself for the time being.
That's so smart. He's got something to heal with. He actually is trying to survive it, but Sphinx was also ready on the high ground, and he has an extra med kit. It's gonna be so close here as Sphinx has run out of heals, and Bolts has one in 3, 2, 1. It is over, and Bolts wins the game via armored walls. Low ground there, and they are just turning up. This is why they're first and second place given into this 11 match right here. They are decimating the lobby.
It's a 1 versus 2 scenario, but Peterbot is just making it happen. Thomas HD and Queasy sitting at 8 eliminations already, though. But Peterbot gets another ritual, isolated, no re in sight because he's been taken out earlier on, and Peterbot continuing to tarp his way through the low ground. There's a possibility, MDF, these two might actually just clash head on.
We have a 2v2 and then all solos in between. One of those solos is, of course, Peterbot. Rapid is gonna fall as well, and he just does not stop claiming eliminations at this point. Bugha on the backside of zone. Don't come out, son. It's not gonna go well if you step into Peter's domain. Meanwhile, Thomas HD, Queasy are setting up the victory royale.
Thomas HD, Queasy, they know. It's Peterbot and Bugha.
Oh my
Have
God.
to deal with, but Peterbot gets a huge chunk out of Queasy. Thomas is gonna fall. One more shot could do it. Peterbot with the refresh, continuing to break through on the low ground. He's making the impossible happen.
Queasy versus Bugha up top. Takes him down. Queasy versus Peterbot now. How badly do you want it? Queasy is looking for the tag. Both shots can easily go any way. Peter finds the first one. Can he get the second? He is incredible! And it couldn't be said any better. Match 12 is here, and the competition elimination has never been closer.
TD and Chap could also always opt to take this flaming boost tube if they feel as though this battle isn't worth their time.
Definitely are looking like it's time to get out of here. Couple eliminations, but time to just recoup, bounce back, get the materials, and find your way towards the mid game here. Meanwhile, Bugha falls to the hands of Muzz and Epic Whale, and they are racking up. Support his teammate, the scan comes out. They know where everyone's at. The med kit is there as well. Boyo, the perfect partner in crime for what is unfolding here right now. And just a couple of duels left. They don't have a lot of HP. Boyo looking to show them what he is made of.
Boyo and Peterbot have had so much time now to recuperate what they lost as far as health is concerned. Peterbot's already got one knock on to Trulex. It's just Chicho standing between them at this point. And Peterbot finds his third victory royale on the day, but most importantly of all, a global championship.